European funding. This isn't a comment about Brexit, by the way, it's just a matter of fact that we've benefited hundreds of millions of pounds of dedicated funds that came into the city and the region that has enabled this city and this region to build the innovation assets that it has today. We've had dedicated funding through programmes like ERDF and ESF, putting millions of pounds into the city that's enabled Birmingham and the West Midlands to have the innovation assets that it has today. The problem with that is that it's competitive, it's often short-term 2-3-year projects. However, the fact that that funding works in 6-year cycles enables us as a city and region to build longer-term planning, and I think you can see the benefit that that's had in the city and region. We have a really powerful ecosystem with a lot of assets. You only have to look just to the left at Steamhouse, benefited significantly from millions of pounds worth of ERDF funding. So that's the good. Unfortunately, we don't have that funding anymore, but that's the good. The not so good, I won't call it, is the current state of affairs. We've left the European Union. The like-for-like replacement of that funding is called the European Shared Prosperity, the UK Shared Prosperity Fund. But the quantum of that funding, despite government assurances that they will match lost funding for cities and regions, the quantum of that funding is about a third of what we used to get. Now that has implications. Just in the 2014 to 20 period, which was the last European funding cycle, the West Midlands received directly for us to manage somewhere in excess of £550 million. So we was able to dedicate that resource to areas of preference for us and on key strands around research and innovation. So that's why we had such investment in the ecosystem. Basically, like £88 million of UK shared prosperity funding for 3 years. We don't know what comes next, but clearly it's not the same quantum. So a lot of the things we've built up over many years has sort of reached a bit of a cliff edge, really. And we just cannot support the programmes and investments that we used to. So it's a bit more of a challenging environment. The one good about the present is we do have a West Midlands Innovation Accelerator that's provided us £33 million. Fabulous news. It will talk more about the Innovation Accelerator, and of course we have Diatomic, which is funded through that accelerator, and we'll talk more about Diatomic. But I'll finish on the future. Are we glass half full, or are we glass half empty? I'll try and be glass half full. We're in the middle of the next phase of the West Midlands devolution deal. We are in negotiations with government around the new settlements. It's called now the integrated settlement, so I think that word integrated is key. Will it be integrated? Well, we'll see. But this is an opportunity where the West Midlands will receive a 5-year funding deal that will allow us to build place-based strategies, economic strategies that enable us to better strategically align economic development functions, economic growth activities, including innovation, because you can't do innovation without doing employment, without doing skills, without doing business support, without doing all of those other economic functions that make a city tick and make a city grow and become more productive and become more competitive. So there has to be a strategic alignment and integration. So the single settlements gives local authorities, for example, the opportunity to build place-based strategies. We will. What we're concerned about is whether innovation becomes within scope of our local place-based strategies. My concern is that it will be an accelerator Mark II rather than embedding innovation into place-based economic strategies. I'm not going against the West Midlands Innovation sort of accelerator Mark II because it's done great things. But if we don't fully embed long-term innovation into economic development strategies, then we're missing a huge opportunity and now's the time.
No, thanks very much for that. I know I've been looking at some stats and it says that innovation drives 85% of growth. So it has to be embedded into your economic strategy, otherwise you won't grow.
We've got £33 million worth of funding to be able to develop our project. I think the real game changer was that it opened up a new way of thinking and a new way of working between West Midlands Combined Authority, UKRI and DC and we were actually able to miraculously decide our own thematic areas. put out our own calls for projects, and we were able to actually choose our own projects, which was absolutely unheard of compared to previous kind of relationships with regions within the UK. So in our region, we focus on clean tech and health tech. There are kind of core thematic areas. Obviously, you can loop in a lot of things around manufacturing, etc. within those spaces. That's the kind of headlines in the way that we put it forward. And ultimately, the kind of boiled down top line message for that is everything we do around innovation is for the people or for the planet, ultimately. So there's that kind of societal or environmental good in terms of the activity that we commission. It's probably worth saying, following on from Lloyd's comments about the severe lack of funding that we have in the region, the Innovation Accelerator wasn't the only show in town for innovation funding. So the way that we actually tackled that as the combined authority is we insisted that every project that came forward couldn't be a single applicant kind of consortia. It had to be a multi-consortia approach. So you can see through our Health Tech Accelerator, that's got over 20 partners, for as an example. Diatomic's got multiple partners. The West Midlands Innovation Programme's got about 15 partners. So a lot of our assets were able to kind of get a stake in the game through that. So, but the other thing that's really, really important is we didn't just lift our finger and stick it in the wind and decide this is our thematic areas and these are our projects. We had 2 enormous consultation sessions where we spoke to well over 400 people, stakeholders in the region, to understand what were the actual interventions we needed across health tech and clean tech, and what were the kind of challenges and opportunities, and that was validated with the ecosystem before we commissioned anything. So, and I think the proof's in the pudding. We've supported well over 500 businesses as a kind of portfolio of 5 projects. We've created numerous jobs. We've created millions of pounds worth of co-investment on top of that 33 million pounds we were given. And I think at last count, we're at something like 85 million pounds additional co-investment. So I think that shows, if you give the West Midlands the opportunity to be a trailblazer, we can give us £1 of government funding and we can treble that for you. That's the West Midlands way.
And I think it's been successful because we've hit on a region that's already got assets.
Yes, my name's Laura Veart. I'm working at Steamhouse as the Programme Manager, but for the Diatomic project I've worked alongside the Council and the Connected Places Catapult to deliver the particular part of the project which is around city-to-city demonstrator, which is connecting Birmingham with Ulsan in South Korea, and we have some of our delegates from South Korea here today, so welcome. So yeah, the Diatomic project is an overview. It's a pioneering initiative aimed at accelerating place-based innovation in the West Midlands. We've got a number of partners, as Iain has just said, that we are involved. The Connected Places Catapult are leading this, but the City Council are involved, the University of Birmingham, Birmingham City University, Aston University, and the Chamber of Commerce. I think I've got everyone there. Have all been collaborating on this project over the last year and a half, 2 years. So the focus areas for the project, so that we've got some information about that, it's around the inclusive growth, it's around attracting global investment, which is where the links with Ulsan come in, but also we have some connections with India, which you'll hear a bit more about later in the next panel. And it's around supporting local SMEs and establishing an inclusive innovation hub, which is being developed in the region. So in terms of achievements, I think the support for businesses, which has been a really big part of it, the accelerator has been very successful, and SMEs have been addressing challenges which have actually been posed by the City Council, which has been quite an innovative way of working. We have a whole sort of area of the project which is around data-driven decision-making, around the smart cities and digital twin platforms, which is a collaboration between the 3 universities. They're all working on case studies and bringing that in together. And then, of course, I've just mentioned the global work, which is around global business initiatives. It's around enhancing the region's capacity for international trade investment, but it's also been connecting the academic institutions, the civic institutions, and the businesses, because we have businesses here from Ulsan in South Korea, and we're hoping that businesses from our city will also be able to connect with institutions in Ulsan over the next few months and years as part of this project. So that's a whistle-stop tour of Diatomic and what we've been doing and the success that's come out of this.
There's nowhere around the world that we can't connect to and work with. So I think we have the ambition. I think that's the other thing. We have the ambition. So those ingredients, the talent, the ambition, the assets, the connections, the partnerships that we have locally, all of them, I think, are a vital ingredient for our success.
For Diatomic, it was building those longer-term partnerships internationally and globally. I think that's been a really key part of the project, and we've talked to Ulsan, and we've talked about this project only lasting another 6-7 months, but we want to continue those conversations. We've made really good progress, and I know the India project as well. There's a hope that that's a long-lasting relationship. So I think in the future, they're the places that we want to keep